Hi, my name is Ethan Wolf. I'm just going to share a little bit about my story and my testimony, and when and how I became to know Christ and how that's changed my life. For me, that first question there when it says, what was your life before Christ? It's honestly a little tough for me to remember just because, to answer the second question, I accepted Christ when I was 5 years old. I accepted Christ on my bunk bed on my 5th birthday with my dad. I don't remember too much about that day. I remember kind of going through that day, having some questions about salvation, knowing that I wanted to ask Jesus in my heart, and I hadn't done that yet. So that night when I was getting tucked in, I asked my dad a couple questions of how I can go to heaven, telling him I want to ask Jesus into my heart. I remember him walking me through exactly what that means and what that looks like, and sitting there and just praying that prayer, telling Jesus I'm a sinner, even at 5 years old, and that I acknowledge that when he died on the cross, it was for me, and that was for my sins. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to tell you exactly what my life was like before Christ. There's some other exponential moments in my life that I can kind of get into later. But I will say, I do remember having this overwhelming feeling of the Holy Spirit, I want to say filling me up, I guess, of finishing that prayer. And I did feel like a new person. I can distinctly remember that feeling. But I just went through the rest of my life like that. Just was a Christian very early on. I will say I've made my faith my own recently in the past couple years. And that kind of just looks like trusting God in different aspects. We went through a tough season as a family. In my junior year of high school, summer after my junior year, there was a chance we were going to move. My dad was going to take a job at a church on the East Coast. I had never lived anywhere besides Phoenix, Arizona, where I'm still at right now. It was really weird. I remember just praying to God, I don't know what you want with this, God. This is going to be my senior year of high school at the school that I've gone to my entire life. And just kind of feeling this overwhelming sense of peace as that whole process went on, as we went about that process of looking into moving and almost moving, in our heads, we were so convinced that that's where God wanted us to be. I had already told friends goodbye. We had told family members goodbye. I wasn't going to go back to school. Some things changed. It kind of got pushed back a little bit, so I went back to school for the first month. Then all of a sudden, that kind of got ripped away. And it really hurt our family, honestly. It was something that we weren't expecting. But because of my relationship with God and the whole process that we had taken that summer of just trusting Him and knowing that whatever's going to happen, He's going to do, and it's going to be part of His will. So just that piece of trusting God is something that I really believe has transformed my life since knowing Christ. That was kind of a monumental moment in my life of just having to step up and trust God in a way that I'd never had to do before. My prayer life has grown and has stayed pretty strong since then, just because of that peace that I experienced during that process. And even in other hard decisions, I went to school at Biola in California for my freshman year of college, and it just didn't work out. And there was just a lot of prayer before my second semester, just asking God, is this where I'm supposed to be? And ultimately, I think He led me. The answer is no. That's why I'm filming this video right now. I decided to come back home and apply to GCU and apply to this amazing Barnabas program. God's just presented so many amazing opportunities in my life over the past couple months, past couple years, that really that's just transformed my life in that way of just being able to sit back and trust Him. And whatever He's got to do for me, whatever He's got to do for our family, just sit back and just know that whatever it is, it's in His plan and His will, that He's going to get it done.